एवरीवन, आज हम करेंगे ब्राइड ऑफ फायर रिटन बाय पोएम रिटन बाय अरबिंदो, है ना। ब्राइड ऑफ फायर करेंगे आज हम। चलो, इसमें ब्राइड ऑफ फायर में देयर आर 4 क्वाट्रेंस एंड ब्राइड ऑफ फायर इज क्वाइट लाइक अ चैंट. The rhyme scheme is ABAB, but it is the rhythm that really powers the poem. The first and third lines are longer, composed of 4 irregular feet, with the more ponderous dactyls and anapaests alternating with trochees and ems. The second and fourth line have only 2 feet each, one of which is an anapaest. The poem is an address to the bride of fire. जो पोइट है ना वो ब्राइड ऑफ फायर से बात कर रहे हैं. द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ ईच स्टेंजा बिगिंस विद अ रिक्वेस्ट टू इट. क्लैस्प मी नाउ क्लोज, सराउंड माई लाइफ, थ्रिल एंड एनलेस एंड साउंड इन माई हार्ट. द पोइट supplicates, मतलब requests this bride to do all this to him. The third and fourth lines of each stanza show the poet's credentials, मतलब qualities, what he has done to qualify him for the granting of his wishes. They establish not just his preparation but also his dedication. In other words, no aspiration can be mounted except on the strong foundation of the readiness that comes from renunciation. But there is a paradox running through the poem. The addressee is a bride whom the poet desires, but he claims that he has slain. Slain means he has killed, desire to qualify himself for his bride's embrace. So the entire language of the poem suggests the attainment of higher ecstasies. Ecstasies means self like of bliss, for which the lower one have to be sacrificed. Lower one means जो poet हैं वो. Obviously the key question in the poem is who is the strange bride that the poet addresses. Clearly it is no earthly or ordinary bride, but it is described as the bride of fire. What might happen if one were really to clasp a bride whose body is fire? One would be burnt to ashes. Well, the clasp of this bride too is not devoid of a similar danger. But it is the sort of dying which releases one into a higher life. Only when the dross मतलब junk of lower instinct or desires is purified through the furnace of ascesis. Ascesis means self-discipline, does the higher self awaken. The bride of fire brings about this alchemy. Alchemy means किसी भी चीज़ को सोना बना देना, by transforming the poet through her immortalizing embrace. Now this poem is like a chant, and if we will read it aloud, its content is that of a prayer. ये prayer की तरह लगता है. Shri Aurobindo believed that the highest form of poetic expression was a mantra. मंत्र की तरह है ये, है ना. इसमें मैंत्रिक जो है क्वालिटी है. द साउंड एंड द सेंस कंबाइन, साउंड और सेंस इस तरह से कंबाइन होते हैं सो एज टू क्रिएट एन एलिवेटिंग रेवर्बरेशन विद योर कॉन्शियसनेस. एक तरह की एनर्जी पैदा होती है इससे. ठीक है. नाउ वी आर डूइंग द गोल्डन लाइट, है ना. गोल्डन लाइट कर लेते हैं. अच्छा, ये पोएम मैंने रीड तो की नहीं, चलो इसको रीड कर लेते हैं. नाउ फ्रेंड्स, वी आर डूइंग ब्राइड ऑफ द फायर. हमने पढ़ी नहीं है ना, इसको हम एक बार रीड कर लेते हैं. ब्राइड ऑफ द फायर क्लैस्प मी नाउ क्लोज. ब्राइड ऑफ द फायर, 2 बार ब्राइड ऑफ द फायर बोला गया है. इसमें काफ़ी बार बोला गया है. आई हैव शेड द ब्लूम ऑफ द अर्थली रोज. आई हैव स्लेन डिज़ायर मीन्स स्लेन मीन्स किल्ड. Beauty of the light surround my life, beauty of the light. I have sacrificed longing and parted from grief. I can bear thy delight. फिर आएगा image of ecstasy, thrill and endless, image of bliss. I would see only thy marvelous face, feel only thy kiss. Voice of infinity, sound in my heart, call of the one, stem there, thy radiance never to part. ओ लिविंग सन. सो ये तो हमने इसका एनालिसिस कर लिया. अब हमने गोल्डन लाइट को थोड़ा मैं पढ़ लेती हूँ, उसके बाद उसका एनालिसिस स्टार्ट करेंगे. द गोल्डन लाइट केम डाउन इन टू माई ब्रेन एंड द ग्रे rooms of mind sun touched became a bright reply to wisdom's occult plane, a calm illumination and a flame. The golden light came down into my throat, and all my speech is now a tune divine, a paean song of thee, my single note. My words are drunk with the immortal's wine. The golden light came down into my heart, smiting my life with thy eternity. Now has it grown a temple where thou art, and all his passions point towards thy only thee. The golden light came down into my feet. My earth is now thy playfield and thy seat. Okay, इसको थोड़ा हम लोग एनालिसिस कर पढ़ते हैं इसका, जो कि बुक में दिया है, द गोल्डन लाइट. Shri Aurobindo wrote a remarkable series of sonnets during his poetic career. No other poet in the English language attempted a sonnet series on spiritual topics. So, Shri Aurobindo's series is unique. Each sonnet is a brief but clear description of a spiritual state or experience or mood. This sonnet is Shakespearean in structure, consisting of 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. And the central moment of the poem is suggestive of a descent. इसमें ना descent का मतलब है moment, origin जो है उसी की बात, जैसे हमारे चक्र जो है ना वो एक्टिवेट होते हैं ना, तो वो moment के बारे में बताया गया है. From the crown of the brain, the 7th chakra of the kundalini, the 1000 petaled lotus of the sahasrara, this descent moves lower and lower through the being, enlightening, purifying and transforming it as it courses through the system. Again, we see how important the idea of divine descent is in Shri Aurobindo's thought. The aspiring devotee's urge to fly upward has to be met by the answering descent of the divine. Without this meeting of the ascending and descending triangles, the yoga of Shri Aurobindo cannot find fruition, the result. Shri Aurobindo's symbol too consists of 2 intersecting triangles, one pointing upwards, the other downwards. In the middle is the square, which represents the supermind, in the midst of which blooms the lotus of consciousness. Arvind, incidentally, also means lotus. The idea of avatarhood is an idea of descent, of the divine coming down to the earth. In this poem, the light descends from the top and touches the mind, throat, heart, finally the feet. These 4 levels also symbolize the 4 planes of consciousness: the mental, the physic, the vital, and the physical, which are important in Shri Aurobindo's yoga. All of them, even down to the physical, have to be divinized before earthly life becomes the life divine. Chalo, it is finished now. Next we will do